We return to our top story. The Pentagon is under scrutiny over a newly revealed follow-up strike on an alleged drug boat in the Caribbean. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth today distanced himself from the second strike. He says he authorized the attack, but it was Navy Admiral Mitch Bradley who ordered it in real time. However, Hegseth says he stands by Bradley and all military personnel.
President Trump always has our back. We always have the back of our commanders who are making decisions in difficult situations, and we do in this case and all these strikes. They're making judgment calls and ensuring that they defend the American people.
Retired Army Lieutenant Colonel Geoffrey Corn joins us now. He's the director of the Center for Military Law and Policy at Texas Tech University School of Law. He also served as the Army's senior law of war expert advisor. Thank you so much for being here. Secretary Hegseth says he authorized the attack, but he didn't personally order that second strike or see any survivors. Is he still legally responsible?
Well, if he authorized the attack on the government's theory that the United States is engaged in an armed conflict with a narco terrorist group, then the assumption is that there was a determination that the boat was a lawful military target, and authorizing the attack would be appropriate. I think there are very difficult questions of whether or not it's legitimate to even claim you're in a war functionally with a criminal gang, but that's the government's position. And I think your introduction is correct. He's distancing himself from that second strike.
Secretary Hegseth today said the fog of war played a role in the strikes on September 2nd. Let's listen.
I did not personally see survivors, but I stand, because the thing was on fire. It was exploded and fire or smoke. You can't see anything. You got digital. This is called the fog of war. This is what you in the press don't understand.
What's your reaction?
Look, the fog of war is a real thing, but this all started with reporting that the commander did see survivors that were shipwrecked clinging to the side of that ship, and then there was a decision to attack it again. I think there are very important questions that need to be asked of the admiral, and I share the respect for him that Secretary Hegseth indicates, but he does need to answer questions. What was the target of the second attack? Was he attacking the vessel or was he attacking the crew? And if he was attacking the vessel, why was it so urgent to attack it when he knew that there were survivors hanging on the side of the vessel as opposed to making an effort to rescue them and then finishing off the boat? But again, I think this fog of war statement had more to do with distancing himself from the decision to launch the second attack than it had to do with the admiral's decision to launch it, from what we know.
Would targeting the vessel a second time, if that was the target, would that even make sense to you then if we are to take the secretary of his word that it was on fire and smoke and the like? It's no longer a threat at that point.
Well, listen, the vessel was attacked in the first place because it was determined to be a military objective. And I have my criticism of the government's position that this is a war to begin with. But if it was a military objective and it was still floating, then yes, I could see the logic of finishing it off, if you will, and sinking it. The really difficult question to answer is a timing question. Why was it so urgent to strike it a second time at that moment? It's not as if the vessel were armed and firing at U.S. assets or that the vessel was in the process of fleeing the scene. It was dead in the water. It wasn't armed. And if we knew that there were survivors clinging to the vessel, then the important question at that point becomes, why was it so urgent to attack it again at that moment, knowing that the likely result would be the death of those shipwrecked crew members?
Interesting. All right, Geoffrey Corn, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.